What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, we're running a team that a member of the community suggested on my YouTube video yesterday. So shout out to Jay. Bewear, Ho-Oh, I got a shiny Ho-Oh, and shiny Charizard right here. This team was absolutely insane for me today, and we even beat a Tapu Fini team with it as well, going 11-4 and climbing over 100, rating around the 2600. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team and these battles. I have so many lined up for you guys today. It's basically a 30-minute video, so buckle up because this team was so much fun. All right. Getting into the first battle, we have Bewear on the lead versus Obstagoon. This is not a good matchup, but thankfully we do have Superpower, which can one-shot an Obstagoon. So we're going to go ahead and go for it. It means we get ourselves shield advantage, but no, it actually was a CMP tie. Unfortunately, I thought they went through an extra counter. Honestly, we face off against a lot of Obstagoons, but now we're going to swap into Charizard right here, get ahead on energy, and we draw out a Giratina. This does two things for us. Firstly, it frees up Ho-Oh in the end game to potentially sweep because Charizard can do super effective damage right here against Giratina Altered. And secondly, Bewear could potentially farm down, but no, an Ancient Power, boom! I was banking on that being a Dragon Claw. So unfortunately now we're in a very tough situation. Bewear right here does very well against Giratina Altered, typically with Shadow Claw. So we're just going to see a Dragon Claw right here, but now we're actually in a tight position, so I got to overload on energy just a little bit and go for a payback now to take it down. So let's see what they decide to do. They decide to let it go. We're going to come straight in with Obstagoon, and they instantly swap into a Trevenant. And this, battlers, is what Ho-Oh was doing today. Charizard drew out typical counters to Talonflame, and Talonflame put on a clinic. So we're going to be using Sacred Fire right here, as it will do super effective damage and potentially lower the attack, but unfortunately we don't get that attack drop. It has a 50% chance. Like, it's a coin toss to see if you get it, and we barely survive the Shadow Ball, which allows us now to farm down, and we have a Superpower ready to go on Bewear against this Obstagoon. This is just game one, everyone. Boom! One shots the Obstagoon, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. We got Bewear versus Shadow Swampert. So this thing can sweep your team if you are not careful. Now, because it is Shadow, they're going to be doing so much damage with Hydro Cannon that I actually decide to go for a payback right here, hoping to try to sneak it through. And also, I don't want to apply a debuff to myself because then this Hydro Cannon Mud Shots might just take me out. So we're going to let this go through. We can survive that. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and now we're going to be forced to shield this next one because I want to try to go for a Superpower right here. But we're overload, and they swap out into Pidgeot. Very unfortunate for us, and I have to swap out right away, so I'm going to go into the Ho-Oh because we have the Incinerate damage, and we also have Sacred Fire, so we might be able to farm down if they decide to shield, and we get the debuff. Now, they go for a Feather Dance, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and overload a bit on energy now, and then go for Sacred Fire because I might just be able to win the race against Swampert if it comes back in. So let's see. They let the Pidgeot go down. That is fine. We still have Charizard. We still have Bewear. They come in with Swampert. But no, we can't throw that Brave Bird in time. So I unfortunately have to let this go. Now that is all their energy gone. So what we're going to look to do is come in with Bewear and load up on some energy. They swap out right away into Charizard, so I come in with my own Charizard, and this is a dangerous game right here because Blast Burn is the move we need to look out for, so I'm going to go ahead and shield, and it was the Blast Burn, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and go for Dragon Claws now because similar to the situation with Trevenant, if I could farm down Charizard and get that final shield, it's going to be close, but a Superpower might be enough to take out the Swampert, but they let it go through. So now Swampert is in a very tough situation. Remember, it was out of energy, right? It just threw the Hydro Cannon against Ho-Oh. So now it has to build up to 2 Hydro Cannons to take us out. But it won't be able to do that in time before I get to another Dragon Claw, which forces them to throw. And now it's a race to the Superpower, and we get it in time. Bewear clutching up right here, taking out the Swampert. Boom. Good game. Very well played. All right. We have 25 more minutes to go. Let's go. We have battle number 3, Bewear versus Sirfetch'd on the lead. Terrible lead. We're going straight into that Charizard, and let's see what they decide to do. They're staying in, and they actually swap in a Kingdra, so we are so far ahead in this matchup, and this is what Charizard did. It drew out those dragons, maybe Giratina Altered, maybe Dragonite, maybe Kingdra. In this situation, it draws them out, and we have super effective damage to apply shield pressure here. So what I want to do is try to take switch advantage if I can, or 1-0 shields. I think I'd be happy with 1-0 shields because Ho-Oh with a shield could potentially sweep this team. So they did get the attack debuff, I believe, right there with Octazooka. So the Dragon Claw is not going to be doing as much damage, but we can get to another Dragon Claw in time. If this forces that final shield, oh, and it does, that is beautiful. Now, Bewear is going to go ahead and come in and farm down with Shoutout. We're going to go ahead and no shield if they do get to the Octazooka or Outrage. And now we got to swap out right away into Ho-Oh, and let's see what decides to come in. They're not swapping out. Everyone, okay, we're going to shield the potential Brave Bird. They must be weak in the back. Let's see what it's going to be. Nope, we're just going to go ahead and go straight for the Brave Bird. They're staying in way too long, so we're going to boom this Sirfetch'd out of there. Boom, get out. And it's a... beautiful. It's a Trevenant in the back. This is so good. Now, we don't get the Brave Bird off in time, unfortunately, but they just threw a Seed Bomb trying to take us out and then try to farm down, but we get to another Brave Bird, and Ho-Oh is sweeping right here. Boom! One shot to the Trevenant, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving next one, we have Bewear versus Shadow Walrein on the lead. So this is actually pretty decent for us because of the damage we can do with Superpower. Now, Icicle Spears will hurt, but I'm not going to shield the first one because after I apply that debuff of Superpower to myself, the next ones are what's hurting. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Superpower. They decide to shield. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and go for another one. And this might just take... I don't think it's actually going to be enough to take out the Walrein, but it does a good amount of damage where it's low enough now where I'm thinking I'll go ahead and shield this, and then I'll look to swap out into Charizard because now I'm double debuff. There's no reason to stay in, and they swap in a Tapu Fini. This Pokemon is the Achilles heel of this team because of its Water Fairy typing. It does so well, but Charizard, Wing Attack, and Blast Burn is making quick work. Now, what have we done game in and game out? We let Ho-Oh sweep. So we have to come in with Bewear right here. We have to go for a Superpower. We have to do as much Shadow Claw damage as possible. And we have to hope that they try to farm us down because I might just be able to take them out with Shadow Claw right here. Look at that. We would have taken it right there. Actually, it would have been a simultaneous KO, I think. But they throw their energy. So now let's unleash Ho-Oh. We get a fast move through. It's going to be a Charizard in the back. Shadow Charizard at that. And remember, there's still the Shadow Walrein, so I'm not going to throw just yet. I will be forced to shield right here because I do fear the Blast Burn, and it does land. Again, we're not throwing. They swap out into Walrein, which means I can farm down. And now we have to go for Sacred Fire to bait them. I don't know if I would have made it to double... Actually, I probably would have made it to double Brave Bird. But we will be able to get this Brave Bird in time. It would have been one fast move either way. But I didn't want to debuff myself and get KO'd by Dragon Claw if they did get it. Boom! Down goes the Charizard. Good game. Alright, moving into the next one. We have Bewear on the lead versus Tapu Fini. Okay, this is where it's an auto loss, basically, because against Tapu Fini, we're not doing any damage. So I'm going to try to go for a payback right here just to do as much chip damage as possible without debuffing me and just pray. And I swap into Charizard to try to catch the Moonblast, but I don't think they had just enough energy. I think they were pretty close. But now I have to take Surfs on Charizard, and this is a very bad situation for us because, like I said, Tapu Fini core breaks this team. So we land the Dragon Claw, but it's nowhere near enough damage that we need. I'm going to come in with Bewear and try to farm down. I might have to give up 2 shields in order to do so, but it's like It's so tough. It's such a tough decision. They actually go for the Surf, so that's a terrible shield by me. And they go for another one, and this is where I make a mistake. I double shield. I know it's not Moonblast, but I was so fearful of this Tapu Fini. And there's a Cobalion in the back, so I'm going to go ahead and go for Superpower. But this is going to be a good game. Tapu Fini on the lead was very, very hard to deal with, and Cobalion now is free to go for Stone Edge, so I'm going to get boomed myself right here. Boom! Down goes the Ho-Oh, and that is looking to be a good game. I can't do anything right here. So, in hindsight, maybe no shield on the Bewear and just farm down with Ho-Oh. That might have been the win. Alright, so we have Trevenant on the lead. Trevenant does not like this team. This team defeats all Trevenants everywhere. You are doing so much damage with Wing Attack, Blast Burn, Incinerate, Brave Bird, Sacred Fire, Shadow Claw, Payback, and now we see a Registeel swap in, so we're going to go ahead and save that energy on Bewear, and we're going to have to shield now on Ho-Oh because the Zap Cannon can do a ton of super effective damage, and we're going to go straight for Sacred Fire. This does so much damage to the Tin Can right here. Boom! Down goes the Registeel. That was an XL Registeel, and it looked like it just melted off of the battlefield. Now, they have a Regirock in the back. This is pretty dangerous because Regirock has access to Stone Edge and Focus Blast, and they have 2 shields. My Bewear goes down to Focus Blast. My Charizard goes down to Stone Edge. Things are going to be very tough. So, let's see if we can pull this off. Boom, down goes the Ho-Oh. We got to come in with Bewear. We have lots of superpowers ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and launch these things. And I am concerned about them trying to swap to catch the charge move. So we do get a shield right there. We're going to overload a bit. They go for a charge move. I'm like, you know what? They've built up quite a bit of energy. We're going to go ahead and shield. It was just a Stone Edge, unfortunately. But now I can go for 2 more superpowers right here. Trying to get the final shield and take out the Regirock, and we will see them go for another charge move. I'm like, this is all, it's all over. This Regirock is going to destroy me, but no, it was just a Stone Edge, and I survive, instantly swap into Charizard, knowing that they would come in with the Trevenant, and I have to go for Dragon Claw right here, because I won't be able to make it to the Blast Burn. So let's see, if I survive this right here, this Shadow Ball, I think I can get 1 more Wing Attack off. 1, 2, beautiful. We have the Dragon Claw ready to go against Regirock. And what did we do on Bewear? We banked the superpower. Here we go. Send it, Bewear. Ooh, baby, this was so much fun. I honestly had a blast, and I'm so frustrated that I ran out of sets to do. Boom, down goes the Regirock. But this was an extremely fun team. All right, moving to the next one. Bewear versus Giratina Altered. Pretty positive matchup unless it's Dragon Breath and it gets a bit dicey, but this is going to be Shadow Claw, and look at this thing. We are tearing through it right now, and Payback is no joke. They have to watch out for it, and we also need to be prepared for them to swap out. Now, they swap out into an Ampharos. Okay, let's see what we can do, because this thing is going to destroy us. We're going to go ahead and go into the Ho-Oh right here to catch the charge move. And my hope is that I can make it to a Sacred Fire in time. Thunder Punch does 50% of my health, which is not good. Now I'm like, please, make it to a Sacred Fire. Okay, I'm not making it, so I have to throw Brave Bird right here in order to try to do any kind of chip damage. We get a second shield, so thankfully we have 2 shields ready to go. Ampharos is on the field, and I'm really concerned that there might be a Tapu Fini in the back. So we're going to come in with Bewear. We go for the Payback right away, hoping this is going to do enough damage to take out Ampharos, but it's not. Barely. Look at that. Okay. So what we got to do here is we got to shield. They have back-to-back Thunder Punches, but I got to force their energy, and now it is going to be up to Charizard to try to close this game out. We know it can do super effective damage. I got to swap out right away. It's actually going to be a Cobalion in the back, so I'm anticipating them potentially swapping out, but I actually caught them in the middle of the fast move right there, which means they couldn't swap out. So Charizard, boom, down goes Cobalion, in comes Giratina Altered, and this is looking to be a good game, and they do surrender. All right, that got very dicey very quick, but we pulled it together. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. We got Bewear versus Cresselia on the lead. Good, but also bad, because Cresselia does have access to Moonblast, but what's great is if Cresselia, they actually decide to swap out into Blastoise, so this is even better for us because I can freely stay in with Bewear right now, go for paybacks, and now go for superpowers, because obviously the backline does not want to see a Blastoise. Now, I wasn't expecting a Blastoise to come in, but very happily surprised. So really cool Pokemon to bring into the Ultra League. So what we're going to do here is build up to 2 superpowers and throw them back to back. Now, if the Cresselia has Grass Knot and Moonblast, we take out the Blastoise as well. Then Ho-Oh and Charizard do extremely well. If it has Future Sight, things can get dicey. So let's see what they decide to bring in. They decided to bring in Talonflame, so I'm going to go ahead and swap into Charizard right now. And remember, I banked all that energy on my Bewear. Now, I'm going for a Dragon Claw right here, and they do decide to shield, which actually really frees up my potential endgame. Granted, I still think I would have been able to beat, and they go for the Brave Bird as well, so they almost boomed me right there, but no KO. So what we need to do now is come in with the Bewear here and look to go for a payback. Again, Ho-Oh can dominate Cresselia, especially if it doesn't have Future Sight. So that is the aim. We get a second shield. So what I'm going to do here is actually they swap out now into Cresselia. So we got to let this go. Grass Knot is going to take us out. And now they have shown they have Moonblast and Grass Knot. So Ho-Oh is the win condition right here. As you guys will see, this Moonblast damage does absolutely nothing to us. That is beautiful right there. We can safely go for Sacred Fires, which again has a potential to lower your opponent's attack. And then we are just going to farm down. Actually, I have to throw. I actually have to throw right here because Talonflame still has some energy. So what I need to do is make sure I can win the CMP tie, or get to a Brave Bird in time. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Sacred Fire here. And then it should be 1 or 2 more Incinerates in order to take out the Talonflame. Let's see. Yeah, it's just going to be the 2 more Incinerates, and we get them through so we can safely shield. And then Brave Bird, Talonflame, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Once again, Ho-Oh sweeping right here. So much fun. So much fun. Shout out to Jay. Jay, man, this was a fun team. Very fun team. All right. Moving to the next one, we have Bewear on the lead versus Greedent. Okay, so this is actually kind of a tough Pokemon to take down, but we can do super effective damage with, well, superpower right here. And this thing gets to Body Slam so quickly. Greedent is absolutely ridiculous and a very scary Pokemon to face off against. So we're going to go ahead and go for superpower, and then I have to dance around this game. I can't stay in with Bewear, so I'm going to go ahead and swap out now into Charizard since we got a shield, and I'll safely let this go through, because Bewear having shields later on might just be able to win this game for me. So they decide to stay in, load up on some more energy. Now they're going to go ahead and swap into Giratina Altered. Goes exactly to plan of how this works out, as now we have a lot of Dragon Claw energy, which is going to set us up so beautifully right here, because I'm going to get this Giratina Altered low enough where Bewear can come in and farm down and have a lot of energy for that Greedent. So we're going to let this go through. If this is in fact an ancient power, so be it, but if it's not and it's Dragon Claw, which I have been hoping every single time I face off against Giratina Altered, then Charizard can take Switch right there or get the final shield. So they decided to go for Switch, and now they're going to go ahead and throw a Body Slam, which is fine. I'm going to look to come in with the Bewear right here, load up on some energy. They throw another Body Slam. This is fine. We can no-shield this. We don't get taken out. I'm more concerned about what that final Pokemon is going to be. They go ahead and load up. They swap out, and it's going to be a Shadow Granbull. So Ho-Oh is going to take this one, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving to the next one, we have Bewear on the lead versus Cofagrigus. Again, very, very nice lead for us. We're doing super effective damage. They swap out into Shadow Drapion, so I'm going to go ahead and go for Superpower right here. And then I'm going to look to come in with Charizard, because that did so much neutral damage that I should be able to just go for a Dragon Claw right here. Granted, what I think is going to happen is this Drapion is probably going to have Aqua Tail, which they decide to shield. So this is a tell they probably do have Aqua Tail, but I can not outpace them, but they are low enough where I'm happy to go into 2 shields in order to get this Drapion out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this next Aqua Tail. and then look to go for the Dragon Claw. So this is now going to put a lot of pressure on them if they want to shield or not. Granted, I think they're going to go ahead and let it go. Now, they come back in with Cofagrigus, which is going to give us time to go for this Blast Burn right here, which Charizard sets up beautifully because it does so much neutral damage in the matchup. Look at that. Woo! That is a lot of damage, and I'm actually going to come in with the Ho-Oh right now, anticipating them swapping out right away, and sure enough, it was a Scrafty in the back. So this is looking to be a good game, very well played, as we can safely go for Sacred Fires right here. No need to throw the Brave Bird and debuff ourselves. So we're going to go ahead and go for that Sacred Fire, and this is probably going to get that final shield from the opponent. Yeah, it does. So now I can safely go for Brave Bird right here, as we can get to it in time. Booming the Scrafty, and then we swap out into Bewear to close this game out. Boom! All right, Bewear switch clock is back up. We're going to go ahead and come in. We're going to shield and then farm down, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Bewear. Oh, this team was so much fun to use. All right, getting into the next battle. We have Bewear on the lead versus Shadow Gliscor. Oh, this is going to hurt. So we're going to go ahead and swap right away into Ho-Oh, and they actually bring in a Walrein. Now, in this game, I decided to swap into Ho-Oh on this one because I thought Charizard might have a better matchup against the Shadow Gliscor with the Dragon Claw spam potentially. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Sacred Fire here against the Walrein, and we get the attack debuff, which is why I shielded that first charge move, because that was going to be the hardest hitting Icicle Spear left in the game. Now, we're going to go ahead and let this next one go through. And as you can see, it didn't do too much damage. We're going to go ahead and go for Sacred Fire again, hoping to get that final shield from them. We do. Beautiful. So now all shields are down, and things are looking very interesting. I can't get to the Brave Bird in time, so what we're going to do here is I get a little bit cocky. I go into Bewear, and I swap into Charizard. Why? I want to catch the Earthquake, wouldn't you? And we catch it. Oh, beautiful catch right there. And now they have a lot of energy, but I don't even know what their third Pokemon is, and they can already make calculations based on what's going to be in the back. I try my best to farm down, and I don't get the farm down in time, so I'm forced to shield. Oh, I was hoping for that farm down. I needed that final shield. We're going to see Gliscor come back in right here. Yeah, Gliscor does come back in. We go straight for Blast Burn, and then it's going to be a race to the Dragon Claw to see if I can get to it in time. Can we get to it? No, we cannot. The Gliscor is able to get the Night Slash off. I have to come in with Bewear now and pray that I can farm down, and it's going to be it's a Surfetched in the back. That's game over. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine if I got the farm down from Walrein? That would have been beautiful. Granted, I probably could have thrown a Dragon Claw and not had to worry about giving up my shield, but that was risky play on me. So good game. All right, Empoleon on the lead. This is going to be a tough one. Empoleon does a lot of neutral damage with Waterfall. It has access to Drill Peck. My backline is going to get destroyed by Waterfall, so we have to take it out with Bewear. Now, they obviously don't know what my backline is right now, so I'm going to go ahead and they swap out into Togekiss. This is beautiful because I will be able to get to a Sacred Fire in time, which is going to force a shield from them. Now, I'm fully anticipating that they go for an Ancient Power against me. So what I'm going to have to do here is actually let it go. I think the play is now with Charizard as the Ancient Power, boom, takes out the Ho-Oh. I think the play is with Charizard and Energy because the Empoleon doesn't have enough for a Hydro Cannon just yet. And my Charizard right here is going to be resisting Charm, and I can overload quite a bit on Energy and now go for Blast Burn. So I might just be able to win the race against Empoleon to go for the next charge move. So let's see what happens. They're going to go ahead and probably come in with Empoleon. Let's see right here. They do come in with Empoleon, so we're going to go ahead and race to the Blast Burn, and we get to it in time. If they shield this, I'm swapping to Bewear. If they don't, well, they're getting boomed. Boom! Down goes the Empoleon. Final Pokemon is Giratina Altered. It's Dragon Breath variant, though. So this is where I was saying it's very dangerous. The Shoutout, oh, Payback just does so much damage. You'll love to see, and we get to another one in time, but I cannot go for Superpower. That will lower my defenses and my attack, and I need to do as much damage as possible with Shadow Claw. I don't get the Superpower as well, so Charizard now. This is going to be such a close race. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and shield. It is going to be Dragon Claw. We're going to try to go for our own Dragon Claw, but no! They get to the charge move just in time. But we survive. Come on, Wing Attack! Yes! 1 HP in a dream right there. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. We have Bewear on the lead versus Cresselia. Again, very positive for us, but I'm looking to try to get shields and utilize the back line if I can against Cresselia right here because they might just try to swap out. So I'm going to go ahead and shield if it's a Moonblast, which it is, and it debuffs me, which it doesn't. So I would swap out. I'd swap out if it was the debuff, but we're going to go ahead and throw the Payback right now to try to get a shield from them. We do, so we're going to go ahead and swap now into Charizard and get ahead on energy, and they bring in an Obstagoon, which is very good for us because the Obstagoon does pretty well against Bewear. Granted, it needs to watch out for Superpower, but this is going to set up Ho-Oh to potentially sweep. Now, we don't know what the final Pokemon is going to be, but we can safely let these Night Slashes go through, go for a Dragon Claw, start forcing that second shield right here from them, because if they let this go, which they do, they're in a lot of danger. They decide to bring in a Snorlax. So this is looking to be a good game because we can get to a Blast Burn in time. And this is what's cool about this team is Pokemon like Cresselia and Pokemon like Trevenant have a very, very hard time against it. But on the flip side, we also have a very hard time against Tapu Fini. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Bewear right here, load up on energy, go for the Superpower, and then we need to align. They're likely going to be swapping out. We're going to we're going to have to shield right here because I don't want to get hit with their own a Superpower myself, which is just going to be a Body Slam. And now I'm anticipating the Cresselia coming back in, which it does. So we swap right away into Ho-Oh now to catch the charge move as the Moonblast will be resisted. And this now is looking to be a good game, very well played, because that's what this team does against Cresselias and Trevenants. But, okay, this isn't the Future Sight one. I think there's a Future Sight one in here somewhere. We can safely go for the Sacred Fire right here, and then we should be able to farm down with Incinerate if this isn't enough damage. Yep, one more Incinerate, and now we have a Brave Bird ready to go for the Snorlax, and that is going to be a good battle. This team, is so much fun playing with this team. Boom! Down goes the Snorlax. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Bewear on the lead versus Obstagoon. Okay, so I think this is the one where they decide to not CMP tie, because let's see. Yeah, they decided to go for the extra counter. So this opens up a huge opportunity for me because I can, one, get a shield. No, they just let it go. Boom! I had you psyched out. Wake up. Right? Get those earbuds out because I just surprised you right there. But this game is not over. There's a Swampert in the back. So this is not looking good. We're going to have to shield this Hydro Cannon. Now we have to swap out into Charizard right here and try to do as much damage as we can because it's going to take 2 Hydro Cannons in order to take us out. Oh man, a wake-up call right there with that boom. Did I get you? We see a swap out now into Cresselia as they decide to keep the Swampert alive, as Dragon Claws aren't doing too much damage, but we might just be able to get to a Blast Burn in time, which we do. Now, this is going to be a very, very tough game to come back from because, well, we do get a shield right there, so that's already positive. It's going to be tough because that Swampert has energy, and Swampert with Hydro Cannons can do very well. So I have to come in with Ho-Oh right here, and this is where Future Sight is dangerous. So they actually go for the Moonblast. We go ahead and let this go. Was it this? I faced so many Cresselias today. One of these has Future Sight. I'm going to go ahead and let this go as well, anticipating that it is just going to be a Moonblast. Okay, this is just the Moonblast one. And then now we see them swap out into Swampert, which is very good because we can force a final shield right here. We're now going to go ahead and let them take us out because this then wastes their energy. And now we're going to come in with Bewear and load up and look to go for a Payback just before they can get to a Hydro Cannon. Now we still don't know what their third Pokemon is, and Swampert barely survives. I am now forced to shield. Ugh! This is going to be tough. We farm down. Come on, Bewear. 0 shield. Oh, the final Pokemon is Cresselia. Sorry, it's been so many battles now. Yeah, we're 30 minutes in. Oh, the first one was Obstagoon, the boom. Yep, sorry. Bewear takes this one right here with a payback. Boom! Down goes the Cresselia, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. We got one more. Never mind. We got Bewear versus Shadow Granbull. Okay, well, I have to swap out right away. I go into Charizard, and I notice that I'm, first of all, lagging, and secondly, this is a Snarl Granbull. So it has access to Charm and Snarl. Snarl can be dangerous, but against Bewear, this is a lot better for us. Now, we see them swap in a Walrein, and I am sorry about the graphics. I think my video capture card was going on the fritz there. Yeah, we see... Oh, I'm sorry. There's a lot of shaking going on right here, so I do apologize, but... We're in a decent situation, is what we're gonna get at here, because they decide to CMP tie me right there. So now we're gonna have our Bewear come in and farm down. We didn't get a shield, unfortunately, but this is gonna be enough health where Bewear can safely farm down with Shadow Claw and not be too worried about an Earthquake coming through, right? This is just gonna be an Icicle Spear, so we're gonna go ahead and let it go. And then we will probably see the Granbull come in. So we're going to look to go for Superpower. It is resisted, but this is a Shadow Granbull. And so it can still get chunked. Just like we saw against Tapu Fini, where it did like 20-25% of its health. We get a shield, so we're going to swap into Ho-Oh. And they decide to stay in and go for the crunch. So I'm going to go ahead and shield. We don't know what that final Pokemon is, but they haven't swapped out yet. And it is going to be a Cresselia. Okay, please tell me this is the Future Sight one. We're going to go ahead and go for the Sacred Fire. As always, it does a lot of neutral damage. No debuff right there. And let's see if we can pull this off. I am so sorry about the glitches right here. Yeah, this is bad. Oh my goodness, my phone. Yeah, it was that was the Future Sight one, if you saw it. So now we should be able to get a shield right here from them. And no, they decided to let it go. So we're going to go ahead and just try to do it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. We're going to try to do as much damage with Ho-Oh as we can. And the game's gone. The game's gone. What is... Oh, no. What is going on? Oh, we're back. We're back. Bewear. We're just going to Shadow Claw down. I'm sorry, my graphics card was going haywire. So I connected and reconnected while I was battling, but we ended up Shadow Clawing down, and that's going to be a good game. Very well played. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was the last battle. Thankfully, it was only the last battle, but we did so well with this team. It was so much fun. Shout out to Jay for sharing this in the YouTube comments with us, because I had an absolute blast, literal fire blast with this team. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.